Hi, everyone. I'm Sabrina, and I'm the founding lawyer of Varity Law. Today, I will tell everyone the most important things about a new home purchase. New home purchase or pre-construction are very popular among our clients. That's when you buy a property that will be built by the builder. It's usually much cheaper than a resale, and it's easier to rent out and sell at a much higher profit later on. However, the legal process of a new home can be daunting. As soon as you decide to buy a new home, you're handed this contract that is 50-page long and full of legalese. But not to worry, today I will go over some of the most important provisions. But first, my usual disclaimer. In this video, I am giving out general legal information, not specific legal advice for your situation. If you want specific legal advice, please book an initial free consultation with us. All right, the first thing for new home purchase is the HST. In Canada, when you buy a resale home, you do not have to pay HST. But when you buy a new home, you do. But don't worry, there are many ways to get the HST rebate. The first way is to get it from the builder. You can do this if you are the original purchaser on the agreement, which means that you did not receive the property from assignment, and you plan to live in the property by yourselves, right? It's a principal residence, not an investment property. So if you qualify, the builder will deduct the HST rebate directly from the purchase price, so you don't have to pay at all. But what if you're buying it as an investment property where you did receive as an assignment? Not to worry, you can still get the HST rebate. You just have to pay it first at closing, and then after closing, you hire an accountant to apply for the HST rebate. There is a deadline to do this, so make sure you do it right away. Right after closing, hire an accountant. Okay, so the second important thing is the service fees that the builder will charge at final closing. So on the agreement, the builder will list all of the service fee categories. So the categories usually include developmental levies, carry-on fees, status certificate fees, etc. In many of our closings, we have seen the service fee to be an upward of $50,000 or more, which has come as a shock to the buyer. But if you sign the agreement and the builder said they can charge those categories of fees and they did incur that much fees, you have no choice as the buyer but to pay for it because they will pass on this cost to the buyers. So when we're hired to review the agreement, we will always require the builder to put a fee cap on their service fees. So usually we'll request it like, $5,000, $10,000. So even if they incur more costs, it's their problem. Our client's only going to pay the $10,000, for example. So that's what we do. So give our client more predictability. The last thing is multiple closings. So in the agreement, the builder can write that they're entitled to have multiple closings, which usually is an occupancy closing and a final closing. Occupancy means that the property has been completed in terms of building it. They have built it, it's fit to live, you can go living there. But the documents required to pass ownership are uncompleted. Regardless, they will require the buyer to live in the property as a tenant and pay the occupancy fees. Many of our buyers are like, but I don't want to pay the occupancy fees. I just want to live there once the property is mine, once ownership is mine. Well, but if you sign the agreement stating the builder can do multiple closings, you have no choice but to living there and to pay the occupancy fees. So when we're hired to review the agreement, we will always require the builder to give our client a right to lease, which means that after they live as a tenant, after occupancy date, they can lease it to another person or family and hence pass on their the occupancy fee they have to pay. But this must be requested of the builder when you sign the agreement. If you request it after you sign the agreement at occupancy date, the builder can just refuse and be like, no, we only want it to be owner occupied. We only want the buyer to live in there. Then you cannot pass on the occupancy fee to another person. And the second closing is final closing. That's when all the documents are registered and ownership will be passed on to the buyer. Then you can do whatever you want with the property, including renting it out. As for the closing date, the unfortunate truth is that the builder will not tell you the closing date until usually a week or two or even a few days before closing. The reason being is that they don't even know when the property is going to be completed and fit to live and when the legal documents will be registered. But you have to pay all of the fees on closing. So despite the real estate lawyer's urgence that the builder have to tell the buyer's closing date early, the builders simply just don't. And also keep in mind, they're closing hundreds of units at a time. So what the buyers can do themselves is get their mortgage pre-approval ready ASAP and tell their lender that, you know what, I'm buying a new home, so we can literally close in a week. So please get the money ready. Like it could just be a week and I tell you I need the money. If you don't have the money, the mortgage cannot be ready and the closing is delayed, the builder will likely charge you penalties for each day of delayed closing. Yeah, and for the only date that the builder will actually tell you in certainty is the absolute last date they will close on the agreement. So if they cannot close on that date, the buyer will have the right to terminate the agreement. You can just say, you know what, I waited too long, I don't want to buy this anymore. And you will get all of your deposit refunded back to you. But you'll probably not get any more than what you put in. So for example, if you like, oh, I suffer damages because I put the deposits in there for too long. If I put the deposits in an investment product, I would have earned interest. The builder is likely not going to compensate you for any of that, and you'll be clearly stated in their agreement. Okay, so in summary, the most important things about a new home is the HST rebate, the service fee charged by the builder, and the multiple closings. So we will always review the agreement for our clients and make sure they understand all the provisions and all the important elements are addressed before they sign off on it. I hope this video answers some of your most important questions. And if you have more specific questions regarding your new home purchase, feel free to book a free initial consultation with us. Thank you for watching.